Okay, let's recap the lesson. I'm on page 514, and we're talking about step functions. Well, here's the graph, but let me go ahead and describe what happened, okay? So, like a lot of fairs or a lot of adventure parks, there's a height limit to the ride. If you're a little kid, they don't let you ride in the scary rides. So, in this case, there's 22 rides that any child can ride. Doesn't matter how tall you are. They have 10 additional rides that you have to be at least 36 inches tall. So if you're 36 or more, you get to ride that tall. But then they've got even 12 more rides that you have to be 36 inches. So these are the big scary ones for the big kids, okay? So what I know is that height is what drives the whole problem. So height has to be my independent. If you have a certain height, you can ride certain rides, okay? So the independent variable is height, and the number of rides you can ride is the dependent variable. So we did a little graph of that, height, number of rides. From 0 to our 36 inches, we had these 22 rides we can ride, okay? These 22 rides for this height. And then all of a sudden you hit 36 inches and you jumped up to an additional 10 rides. So there's more rides you can ride. And then once you hit 46 inches, you can jump up to an additional 12 inches, which I think puts you at 44. I think that's a 44. I want to put 44 in there. Okay? There's 44 rides. So then we answer the question. It's 36 inches. You can only ride the 32 rides, okay? Because 36, boom, you get the additional one, right? At 45 and 5/16, you're not quite there, so you're still 32 rides. And then once you're 46 inches, you can ride all of the rides, all 46 inches rides, okay? So this is a piecewise graph because it's 3 different pieces, but it's called more specifically steps because it looks like steps. Steps are horizontal lines. Okay, then we looked at another graph, okay? So this is like my fancy app on my phone that says I need this many steps. My goal is, or this kid's goal is, to make a total of 10,000 steps. So in his first week, his goal was 6,500. Then his goal jumped up to 7,000. Then his goal, 7,500. Then his goal was 8,500. Finally jumped all the way to 10,000 steps, okay? So he makes his goal between weeks 6, and 7, okay? X equals W, X equals 1 is week 1. The reason it's week 1 because the app just says your first week. It doesn't say your 0 week, okay? He'll never rock 8,000 step because the app jumps him from our 7,500 to 8,500. So this is never an option. The app jumps up, okay? And of course, the graph has closed circles on both ends at the end because you make your goal, right? You've made your goal and you're happy, okay? Then we turn the page and we said, okay, what does f of 2 mean? So f of 2 is 7,500, okay? Or 7,000, sorry, 7,000. Then we looked at prior to week 2, you're on your first week, and your goal is 6,500 steps. At 7,000, you take, and 7,000 is accomplished between week 2 and week 4. We can see that. And then finally, what happens at 7,000, that's week 2 to week 4, okay? As a piecewise function, you got to put all of these heights. There's no x's because it's horizontal lines. 6,500, that's between week 1 and 2. 7,000 between week 2 and 4. 7,500, that's between week 4 and 5. 8,500 between week 5 and 6. And 10,000 between 6 and 7, okay? Now you can't have it equal on both, and that's where you see the scenario of the open circles right here. It doesn't include it, but it bumps up to that week, okay? And then we took a look at whether things are called discontinuous graphs. Discontinuous graphs are like chunks of graphs, right? But this is definitely a function, passive vertical line test. This one's not. It's a discontinuous graph. It's not a function because that point and that point right there, you can't have 2 y values with 1 x value. This one is a function, but it's definitely a discontinuous graph, okay? All right, now, this one is a decreasing step function. Turns out that Robert borrowed $400, and he's going to pay $80 per week. So, 400, but then he pays him. So all of this is like the days of the week, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, he still owes 400 until he pays. Then it jumps down. So this whole week he still owes $320 until he pays and it jumps down. This whole week he still owes 240, but then he pays, it jumps down. This whole week he owes $160, but then it jumps down until he's paid off. Okay, so it's a step function. We put all of the heights, all the y values, no x's because it's a horizontal line, and we put what weeks they qualify in. Is it a function? Yes. And what kind of function is it? It's a step function. Okay, so that's all I had. The homework was a worksheet. If you want to come in and get it, you can. And that's all I have on step functions.